Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Fatrobzpizza. Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Fatrobzpizza here for another computer build. This time we're going to use the MATX VP500 case. It's a mini micro mini micro case. Anyway, that's the box. And inside we are going to use the Red Dragon SFX 650 power supply. It's small in white because it's going to be a white build. Inside we are going to use the MSI Pro A620. It's a AM5 socket, 4th gen, and for the motherboard. And inside we have, this is an RGB under the board light that's going to go under the motherboard and help give it some light underneath it. Okay, we're going to use T-Force Vulkan DDR5 gaming desktop memory, 32 gigabytes. That's two 16 gigabyte sticks at 6,000 megahertz. So we're going to have to get into the BIOS to make sure that that works with the Expo. Okay, for the processor, we're going to use the AMD Ryzen 8400f. And the first time I'm using this one, it has similar specs to the 7500F, a little bit cheaper. I still think the 7500F will outperform it in games a little bit, but we haven't used it yet, so we're going to try it. And then the motherboard, of course, we've used this before. Underneath we'll have I/O shield, SATA cable. We'll get to that later. And in the bag we have the Pro A620M. That's where the CPU goes. There's your back panel. Front panel through here. 24 pin, 8 pin power. Has 2 RAM slots for the DDR5. And then the graphics card's going to go in this slot once I take that sticker off. So anyway, that's the plan. Put this in here till we're ready. Okay, so that was the motherboard and the components that's going to go with it. On the inside, you put that and that back so it doesn't get lost. Okay, we're going to go with the Gigabyte GeForce RTX 3050. Looking online, this is a pretty good pairing with that 8400f for to have no bottlenecking and still be able to play games well. Anyway, this card does ray tracing and DLSS. It has the wind force cooling system. Looks like my camera's a little blotchy. That's great. Okay, so anyway, that's the card. That's in the silver. We'll take it out, show it off. Oh, I'm going to do that now. Okay, here we go. All right, we have the Gigabyte 3050. Now this does not have a power connector, so this just runs off of board power, which that's great. One less cable to have to run. Okay, pretty good heat sink down in there. Okay, for the ports, there's an HDMI here, 2 HDMI and 2 display ports. So that's, let's see, there's this, there's that one, the ports. Anyway, this will be a fun little build. I haven't ever used that 8400f processor. I have used the 3050 and it's pretty good for gaming. Like I said, we don't want to bottleneck the processor or the GPU. And according to the internet, according to Google, this is a good pairing. for no bottlenecking. Okay, so that's the graphics card. Okay, now this is the case that I showed you the box of. It's got a lot of ventilation, solid back panel where we're going to do the cable management. On the front we have power, USB-C and USB 3.0. On the rear and behind this here, IO shield's going to go here for all the cables to plug into. Graphics card's going to go right in here to these two slots here. It's got feet and a lot of ventilation on the bottom. It's got a lot of ventilation, that's for sure. Okay, so here's the tempered glass side. Okay, inside that's the dust cover for the top. There's that power supply from Red Dragon. That's a 650 in small form factor. We're not going to need, I'll have to take off one of these cables because we're not going to need that PCIe power, which is good because it'll help out with airflow on the inside. I do have some white fans to go in here to kind of keep that theme. You can see those white sleeved cables. Let's take this off real quick. Okay, get that somewhat safe. Okay, anyway, here's the dust cover. There's two of them. Said I've never used this case before. It'll be fun. Okay, so here's my sleeved cables ready to go, already plugged in, and it comes with an ARGB controller. So that's going to be good. Okay, that's another thing I really haven't done a lot of work with is the RGB controller, so it'll be a learning experience. And the PCI slot lock, and then all the screws we're going to need for the build. Okay, I think everything in here is here and ready to go. We're not going to build it right now. I just wanted to get this part of the video done. So the next part, we can just start building that motherboard, get it put inside here, make sure everything works. I think what we're going to do on this one, since it's AM5 and Gen 4, is use a NVMe Gen 4 drive. I know I've got 512, but I might have a 1 terabyte. And if I do, that's what I'm going to put in here since we're going to be doing some gaming on it. Anyway, and then of course, once this is up and running and tested, it's going to be for sale local. I don't have the option to ship yet, so it's just local only. And after I get all the prices, the pieces priced out, then I'll know what it's going to cost to get this. Anyway, we look forward to this build. It'll be awesome. Be excellent. Okay, YouTube, we're going to put together the motherboard. Get ready for this little build in that Sumtax BP500 case. And that was with the, let's see, I've got an ID Cooling SE214XT in white ARGB tower cooler for the CPU. Let's see, the T-Force Vulcan DDR5 gaming desktop memory. Two 16 gigabyte sticks at 6,000 megahertz. So that's 32 altogether. We'll turn on that Expo for AMD to make the best use of that. We have that Ryzen 5 8400 CPU, and we have the MSI Pro A620M micro ATX motherboard. Okay. Leave all that in there. Build it on top of the box. It's convenient. Okay, now we have CPU goes here in the center. We got to take off these brackets because we're not going to need them. Okay, YouTube, we're going to put together that motherboard. I've got that motherboard out of the box. It's that MSI Pro A620M Micro AXT for the AMD platform. We have the Ryzen 8400 CPU that we're going to use. And we have the T-Force Vulcan DDR5. We got 32 gigabytes, 2 at 16, 6,000 megahertz. And let's see, what else do we need? Oh, to cool this CPU, we've got the ID Cooling SE214XT ARGB tower cooler in white, single fan, 4 heat pipe, and the goodies that goes with it. And there's that tower, and then the fan that's going to get attached to it. This has, okay, that does not have thermal paste, but it does have a protective cover, so we're going to make sure we take that off before we install it. Okay, we have the 8-pin CPU power, and we have the main power for the board, the 24-pin. We have some SATA here and here, front panel down below. We've got this PCI E16 slot up here. That's where the graphics card is going to go. CMOS battery. Then on the back panel, we have USB ports, 3.0, regular 2.0. We got a network jack, and we have the audio down here. So to get the CPU in there, we move down this lever, pull it up, open this here. Don't touch those pins. Now on this motherboard, okay, you can see there's a gold triangle there. On the CPU, there is also a triangle in that corner, so you want to make sure that those kind of match up. Lay it down, make sure, don't push on it too hard, but it should set down in there okay. Put that down there, and then put this lever back down to hold it in. And this cover can get removed, and always save that with the CPU in case there's something wrong, because you want to cover those pins, like if you have to take that CPU out for some reason. Okay, so we have the CPU installed. Go ahead and put the memory in. Now this side is stationary, so we're going to have to put it in kind of an angle, and then those will snap in on this side. Okay, now it has a slot down here that's just off center, so you want to make sure that this is going to go in the right way and line up with the slot that's right here in the center here. So I'm going to put this side in first, put it over there, and push down fairly hard. There we go. Got the clicks. Now the second one, same thing. Start it on this side. Okay, and then that didn't click as good, so there it goes. Okay, there was the click. So we've got CPU installed, we've got memory installed. We'll do the graphics card after it's installed into the unit. So I think right now we're going to need to put in the NVMe here. Now the IO shield is what's going to cover this when it's in the case. We'll use that here in a little bit. Move that to the side. Now here's all the screws. Okay, so what we're going to do is the 2280 is this farthest slot, and this is the spacer. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, I'm going to screw that down in here. There it goes. Okay, we want the PH1, I believe. And that'll go, yep, there it is. And then screw that down to the board, get it a little bit better than snug. And then the hard drive. All right, and the way this works is, okay, has a slot right here. We want to match that up with this slot on the bottom of this. It's going to go in at an angle about 45 degrees, slide in all the way, and it's going to touch that. Now that other little screw here, that right. Nope. Okay. We're going to put that in this PH1. And then we're going to screw that in just snug. Doesn't have to be real tight, just has to be a little bit better than finger tight, just to hold that down. Okay. Summary, we have the CPU installed, we have the memory installed, we have the storage installed. I think right now we're going to get ready to put this cooler together and put it on. We'll kick this case back up here. Everything's going to probably be in the way for a minute. Okay, so we're going to, these are the wires for the fans. I installed 2 up on the top, 1 in the bottom, and then a small 92 in the back. The big ones wouldn't fit. Just so we have lots of airflow. pretty sure we can daisy chain most of the stuff together. We start up here. Not the motherboard. Oh, I'll have to also hook up the RGB fan that's on the motherboard. So before we put this in, we gotta put that I/O shield in. There we go. And the way that motherboard is, the audio is at the bottom, so that's these three circles here. So we're gonna move that out of the way. Get this put in and snap. There, got some clicks. Clicks are good. Okay. We're gonna put this down here. Make this fit in with all these wires in the way. YouTube. Well, that tower cooler that I put in was too tall for the case. It wouldn't allow the side panel to go back on. So anyway, so this SC214XT, which I just imagine says is for extra tall, was too big, so we took it off. And instead, I put it on a low profile IS55. It's black, but it does have colored RGB fans, or fan, and it was low enough to fit down in here and should work just fine. Okay, so we didn't need that. Okay, so you can see down in here that I've already got it installed. We got this storage here. We've got the CPU under here. Got this mounted well. I went ahead and cable managed some. Got some of the cables all out of the way. Took the ones off that we didn't need. We have a fan down here at the bottom blowing in. We have that blowing down onto the CPU. Then I've got 3 exhaust fans, so that should be good. We are going with the Gigabyte GeForce RTX 3050. Let's see, 6 gig. It's the WindForce OC. WindForce cooling. It's got 2 HDMI and 2 display ports. Anyway, we'll get this put in here. And it should be ready to fire it up and put Windows on it. The card's got a protective cover on there, but we'll take that off here in a minute. It's going to go in that slot, so I just want to see which PCI covers will take off, and it looks like the center two. Okay, so we're going to take off the center two. And the way these things work, you just bend it in and wiggle. There it goes. Same thing with this third one. Bend it in and wiggle, and it comes off. Okay, before we get too far into this, I want to go ahead and get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 more motherboard screws, and that's that fine thread with the washer type head. Pretty awesome. Okay, now as far as installing this, you take off that cover, put it to the side. Let's see, line up the slot and push down. Ah, good snap. Good snap. Okay. Okay, anyway, that's that 3050 2 fan. Gigabyte has the slots here. I'm going to go ahead and remove the cover for the HDMI because that's what we're going to use. Back I/O shield and I/O ports look good. Power goes there. We've got the connector here to hit the power supply. So I think this is ready to load Windows. And come on. Yeah. Okay. So, can you see all that? Okay, so we have, there's my HDMI. And we have keyboard and mouse. keyboard and mouse, and then I'm going to have my Windows 10 boot drive. I'll put that in. USB slot. All right. Okay. Now we'll see if this thing works. You see it okay? Kinda? All right. Power. No, no power yet. Okay. And record. There we are. Put this here. Okay, we got power, keyboard and mouse, we got the operating system, and we have the HDMI going out to the monitor. Hey YouTube, Fatrobzpizza again. Got that computer built, ready, up and running. Everything's installed. Got Windows 10. Got the Epic Games launcher with Fortnite. Let's see, I just ran a speed test, as you can see over here. We're on fiber, so we get pretty good upload and download. Very low latency. Okay, device manager. We have a Nvme Ssd, that's the 1 TB silicon power. And for the graphics, we have the NVIDIA GeForce RX 3050 6GB. Yeah, 6GB. And then here we are, we have the Ryzen 8400f. It's a 6-core processor running at 4.2 GHz. We have 32 GB of installed RAM, which is that 6000. I've got the Expo turned on to utilize that. And we're going to try to run, well, we're just going to run Fortnite. Here's the settings. Okay, YouTube. I had the settings way too high, which froze up the game. So I had to come in here and reset some. And I finally just decided to go ahead and do the performance mode with the lower graphics, just because that's what I usually do playing these games. And it's still running, so hopefully that's all that it needed. Still running 120 FPS. Let's see, down here we have epic view distance. I should probably change that to just far. And then low everything else. Okay, now we're ready to hop into the game, so I'm going to turn the mic off and we will see how this thing plays. We'll have to try that again. That was not how I wanted to go out. The second game seemed a lot smoother dropping in before it crashed, but that's a thing going on with Fortnite right now, just random crashes. On my main system, it was doing it several times last night and the night before, so not sure what they're doing there. But anyway, this is the white mini PC with the 3050 GeForce RTX graphics card and 6GB. For the processor, it's the 8400f. It's a Ryzen 5 6-core processor. 32GB of RAM. All in all, it's a good, smooth system. It comes up real quick. It's nice, and of course, it'll be for sale local on my Facebook Marketplace if anybody wants it, so I can build another one. All right, guys, thanks a lot.